as the federal government seeks to put in place measures that would fast-track economic recovery from the current naira downturn and falling price of crude oil. One sector the federal government is banking on to secure this mandate is the transport sector, with rail, aviation, and maritime sectors merely gasping for breath. Perhaps it's time to find out what happened to the airport remodeling, the true state of Nigeria's waterways, and the several billions of naira budgeted for the railway construction in the previous administration. Welcome to Question Time. I'm Benga Ashiru. You may also send us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. On November 11, 2015, the federal cabinet was inaugurated under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, with the aviation, maritime, and rail portfolios merged and assigned to the transport minister, Amaechi, with the task of overhauling and repositioning the transport sector. Channels Television decided to go find out the transport minister's agenda for the reform of one of the most crucial sectors of the economy. We met with the transport minister, Honorable Amaechi. He vows to carry out a total external audit of the entire transport sector. Join us in this exclusive interview. Let's set the record straight about the inauguration of the federal cabinet in November 11, 2015, where you emerged as the transport minister, monitoring and supervising three portfolios, the aviation, maritime, and also the rail sector. Would that make you a super minister, as people called you? Many Nigerians tagged you.
I don't know about super minister. I know that the president was trying to reduce the number of ministries and cutting costs. I continue to say to Nigerians that Nigerians say they want change. I hope that they know the change they're asking for and the change we think about when we're campaigning is not the change in the individuals. Because once an election takes place and a party emerges, there must be change in individuals. We thought that the change Nigerians were looking for are change that will emanate from the system. So if you look at what we had before, we have 40-something ministries, and the president felt that the cost of running government was becoming too high, and so reduced them by making sure that there were fully about 19 or 20-something ministers, with other ministers serving as ministers of state. And so you should use the ministries in such a manner that can accommodate the number of ministers he wants to appoint. It doesn't make anybody a super minister. I don't see the difference between me and my Minister of State for Aviation, or between me and the Minister of State for Agriculture, for instance, where all ministers are accountable to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and accountable to the President who appointed you as minister. So the correction you have there is that I don't see the difference, and therefore there's nothing like super minister.
Let me bring you back to the recent occurrence in which the news of you stopping some of your senior officials from going with the CSEC staff to China flooded the social media. Could you put things into proper perspective?
The terms of quarter did not include that they will fund our movement to China and back. And when I got to know about it at the airport, I changed my mind from traveling on that day. Now I said to them, I will not board the plane because my ticket was purchased, not just my staff, including my ticket, was purchased by CCECC. And what we are going to discuss in China includes the contractor. And I don't think it is right to have my Director of Railway, Permanent Secretary, myself, and Director of Legal as passengers in the plane for which ticket was bought by CCECC. I got to know similarly that a director from Ministry of Finance, or two directors from Ministry of Finance, and then let's aid to the minister, were also going with us, and their tickets were also bought by CCECC. When we got to China, we also discovered that our hotel bills were already paid by them. And I said, everything must be paid for by the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is not necessary that the contractor should bear our bills, because actually I approved funding for the trip.
Would you take that as an evidence of corruption?
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know whether it's corruption or not, because there's no, do I say there's no inducement? Or we did not accept the inducement if there was any. The ministry did not accept inducement if there was any. I think what happened was that I think they are used to contractors funding their movement. It's like the battle I'm having with staying in Lagos now. Anytime I come to Lagos, MPA pays my bill. And I tell them it is wrong.
Let's move over to the aviation sector. Could you tell us more about the restructuring of the National Airspace Management Agency?
We've not done any restructurings so far. I don't know where this news is coming from. The managing director was arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, so nobody was acting, and we needed somebody to be able to defend their budget. We needed somebody to take charge of the department until we resolve what the issues are with EFCC. If it's something that can be resolved and you need to fire the managing director, then you fire and hire. So what we've done is to say to the most senior director, you should act on his behalf until we're able to resolve those challenges.
On the appointment of the acting managing director of NAMA, there was confusion over authorization, that there was no clear authorization of him to preside over the affairs of NAMA. What actually happened?
I was there in person. What's the difference? I was there in person to say, what's the problem? They explained the problem, and then I directed that the most senior director should act until the Honorable Minister of State for Aviation returns from his trip. When he called me the next day, I briefed him that I've taken that action, and when he comes, he should go and look at what's happening there in Nama.
There seems to be a lot of ongoing restructuring reforms in your sector that places you on the hot seat. Does that make you a one-man riot squad in the whole of this reform agenda?
The Honorable Minister of State is also part of, or is one of the change agents. What we've agreed that once he returns from Singapore, we will sit down, we'll drop the change map or the route to achieving the change, and we will gradually. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and I said, I hope people did not forget that when we were campaigning, we did not say we were miracle workers. We say to Nigerians, we will change the system, and we want to be given time. We feel the pain that they feel. We understand the challenges that Nigerians are facing. We know that the economy is biting. The president knows. If nobody knows that, the president knows. I know because I've had conversations with the president. But you see, if they think that change will just come by a wave of hand, like a miracle, no. And change comes with sacrifice. There will be pain. Don't forget that what is happening currently is that before President Buhari won the election, the economy was running on corruption. That tap that Amaechi could have gone to before and collect, suddenly he goes there and President Buhari has shut the tap. So it's no longer flowing. I asked a question, and I asked my friends yesterday. We had a long 3-hour debate downstairs in this hotel. And I asked him, please tell me one offense President Buhari has committed. He has not abused anybody. He has not put anybody in jail that is not supposed to be in jail. First and foremost, nobody has gone to jail so far. All he has done, if at all, is allow the agencies to prosecute anybody who has stolen money or who has not returned the money he's supposed to have returned. And all this is geared towards shutting the tap for illegal expenditure. That tap is still open for legal expenditures, don't forget. Once the money is there, and you say, in the budget, for instance, we want to expand Lagos Seaport, and it's there in the budget, and you go to that tab, and that's money in that tab, it will open.
You can also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, how does the Transport Minister intend to revamp the railways? Let's find out after the break.